Hi, my name's Chris Dixon. This is Founder Stories. Today we have Kevin and Julia Hartz from Eventbrite. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Chris.
So can you guys, I guess, first just tell us a little bit about your backgrounds?
Sure. Please.
Well, I in the late 90s founded a startup called Connect Group and had a modest acquisition by a public company and didn't want to take a big job, didn't want to go into a big tech company, so started angel investing, and one of the deals I got involved in was PayPal. Knew Peter Thiel and a lot of that crew, David Sachs, Keith Rabois from college, and as I invested in that business and really saw it take off, that I would say that really launched my career.
And so it launched your career in terms of your next startup, or?
What happened is that when you see something really incredible blasting off, as we see today with Facebook, as we see with the iOS, with Apple development platform, it opens up lots of doors and opportunities. So in my case, I started a company called Zoom. Peter Thiel was a seed funder. Sequoia also got involved, has been very involved in that business, and it's a transaction business really building off the PayPal platform. And Zoom is a company that helps immigrants send money to their families overseas. We today will
sort of
send
a Western Union competitor, kind of, or? Precisely.
Like I like businesses that go after large incumbents, and in this case, Western Union does about $5 billion a year in remittance, charges quite a bit. And we're producing something better, cheaper, faster.
So just as like sort of that's interesting. Just as like kind of PayPal is known to have sort of ridden eBay's growth, right? And likewise, I guess Zoom kind of rode PayPal's, and I guess Eventbrite as well. Is that fair to say, or?
Very fair to say that you're always looking for those macro trends in the market. That you're looking for what new wave of growth is happening. Just as we see social. Is a very important wave that a lot of companies are riding, or mobile is a very important wave. For us, we saw PayPal as a transaction platform, and I stepped out of Zoom full-time and started Eventbrite for that reason, to really change ticketing, and founded the company with Julia Hartz, my wife, and as well as Renaud Visage, our third co-founder of the business.
I see. Zoom. So you left Zoom. Is it Zoom? How is that company doing? Is it doing well, or?
Zoom's on track to do. We're probably at a couple $2 billion gross remittance run rate, and growing very fast. There's a great management team in place, and it's actually been one of those wonderful things that I get to learn so much from those board meetings and. From John Coons, who's the current CEO there. And I would say that, just stepping back a bit, I have been an active angel investor, and I learned so much from the other companies I'm involved in that I can kind of pick and choose and apply to our own business, to Eventbrite, and that's been very key. But Zoom's doing really well, and still an independent company, but we'll see how that changes over the quarters.
Because some entrepreneurs see themselves as sort of, going through the full life cycle of a company, and some, I think, it's quite reasonable to just be someone who says, I do it for the first, I get to product market fit and maybe to 50 million in revenue, and then I pass it off to somebody who builds sales forces and manages thousands of people. Is that kind of, or was it that sort of thinking that led you to go to have a transition, or was it just your desire to start a new company, or a combination?
I had a really challenging time at Zoom. We hit some really rough spots. I was first-time CEO. We had massive fraud attacks. We had regulatory issues, and we needed to bring in a new CEO. And in a lot of ways, I regret not seeing that company through, but I'm very thankful that John Coons has done the work that he's done to get it there. Eventbrite, I absolutely want to do the business. It's the company I want to be with for the rest of my life. It's a company that I think that should be here in 30 years and be that brand in ticketing.
I mean, the rumors or something, whatever I heard about Zoom, were that it had there was a crisis moment, but then it was pulled out of it by, I think, a really great board and management team, and now is doing super well or something. And I've heard also like Sequoia was particularly helpful in this thing. I don't know if
Yeah, I'll give special
rumors.
attention to special kudos to Sequoia. They're often, it's easy to point fingers at, the evil VC, but Sequoia really stuck through that company. We had some cash crunches in different parts of the last decade when there were some downturns and there's some company challenges and business model challenges. Sequoia stuck with us. Roelof saw that vision and backed us for the long term.
It's
Getting
good.
a little
It's good to hear
choked up about that.
It's good to hear a positive VC story because they always get beat up so much.
Well, and they also invested in Eventbrite, and Roelof sits on our board, and so far they've been behind us 2,000%. I mean, they're so supportive.